The continuing trend in retail is really the constantly increasing consumer expectations and how those combined with external factors such as inflation, supply chain interruptions, they really create this cutthroat environment where brands are now competing against each other more than ever before, retailers versus brands, brands versus retailers, and everybody's scrambling. So what we're focusing on today is how to make sure that your clients, your customers, your consumers understand that you're invested in their needs and providing those most desired experiences to them. Three major trends that we are seeing and will continue to monitor throughout the year. First is the diversification of brand sales channels, whether it's through evaluating expanded retailer relationships or expanding into their own direct-to-consumer method. This is something that's very popular, and particularly because while consumers are expanding the amount of channels that they interact with, brands are now evaluating which of those channels are best fit for them to go and meet their consumers. A lot of the growth that we're seeing is particularly within the mobile and social commerce space. So those channels are becoming important. Brands who are expanding to D2C are definitely taking consideration from a mobile perspective. And so we're going to be talking about those today as well as the final piece, which is kind of bringing this all together. It's that overall consumers, they crave engagement. They respond well and increasingly so to relevant experiences and experiential marketing tactics. So how can we leverage the up and coming, the emerging, the advancing sales channels and really provide those experiences that we know our customers are looking for? Within the retailer landscape, we're seeing a lot of investment within these platforms. So whether it's the big players continuing to invest in their retail media platforms or making the user experience better, or whether it's new players emerging with new technology, or Kroger and Albertsons, for instance, trying to merge into an Uber competitor, we're seeing a lot of investment, which is bringing brands to the forefront because they understand that investment in these retail platforms, investment in the user experience is going to bring more users to the platform, better brands. And so these two-sided platforms work that way, where a better overall experience is going to bring more people overall from both sides. While you definitely want to be considering expanding retailer relationships if you're looking to diversify your sales channel portfolio, definitely don't ignore the prospect of direct-to-consumer. Double-digit growth for direct-to-consumer is expected to grow or expected to continue through the next 2 years. We already see a majority of consumers buying directly from brands, and as brands are going to be able to deliver those more personalized experiences because of first-party data, we expect that number to continue to increase. Lastly, we're seeing a lot of the success actually being driven by established brands in the D2C space and not necessarily the digitally native or the up and coming D2C brands. And our position on this is that because the established brands already have a loyal consumer base, they're already well known, they expand into being able to provide things directly to their customers, being able to have that one-on-one interaction, and they can then learn more about their consumers because they're able to build out first-party data sets. So D2C might not fit for everybody, but it's definitely growing. Now, while those are the movements that brands are making, we also want to make sure that we keep track of what consumers are doing, especially since they're causing all of this ripple to occur. So when we look at what the younger generations are doing, Gen Z is actually pushing social media retail sales. And if we look at the percentage of growth here and also the percentage of social buyers that have made a purchase directly in the app, and we take that and we understand that right now the tech is not 100% there. There's still some friction in the process. Your one-step checkouts are not perfect. Your purchases within the social media apps are not perfect. Once that gets a little bit better, we're going to start to see more widespread adoption. So the early adopters are the younger generations. These are the people that we want to keep in mind when we are trying to expand into making sales directly through social media apps or through links. And we want to keep an eye out for when that technology gets a little bit better. And we're going to talk about that with respect to mobile commerce as well. So what you can see on the left here is that there's a 10-point gap between traffic share and order share when it comes to smartphone orders by device. Now, smartphone is still the majority holder of both traffic share and order share, but that gap exists because that technology is not quite there yet. Desktop is still more conducive to more luxurious, more expensive processes that take more consideration. And so once we start to see that shift and the friction is taken out and the convenience is added into the mobile or the social shopping experience, we expect not only the traffic share to continue to increase on mobile or on smartphone rather, but that order share gap to also decrease. Some of the movements that we're seeing within the mobile commerce realm, outside of just expected double-digit growth, which is nothing to sneeze at, we're seeing continual behavioral trends. So the daily time spent on mobile has increased each year for the past 5 years. And for the first time ever this past Cyber 5, which is Black Friday through Cyber Monday, smartphones drove more than half of sales. So we're starting to see more willingness to adopt the full purchase experience on mobile. And so when you're considering what to plan for in the future, definitely consider what your mobile experiences look like. Where are your consumers going? What does the retailer mobile experience look like? What does your mobile experience look like? And is there any friction there that is causing them to consider your product, your service a little bit less? Now, on a more micro tactic, but something that's been spoken about, so we felt that we needed to touch on it. It also highly connects to the mobile and the AR, and the mobile and the social aspect of things, is augmented reality. Now, by 2025, a majority of the population will be frequently using AR. Virtually all smartphone users will be. And with the 94% higher conversion rate that AR experiences can drive for certain interactions, it makes sense why brands are starting to focus on this, because it really is that powerful. Just keep in mind, you can't just throw AR at the wall and expect it to drive 100% more conversion, right? There are practical applications that we've seen work. So companies like L'Oreal, Dior, Sephora, they've done things with trying on wearables via augmented reality, envisioning things, how they look on your body through your phone. Other companies, IKEA, Best Buy will allow you to envision furniture or mounted TVs placed in different rooms, right? So these are areas where the application makes sense, and that is why we see the higher conversion rate when it comes to leveraging AR. So if there's something, if you're in apparel, if you're in consumer electronics, if you're in furniture, if there's something to you that says, hey, AR might be a practical application in this space, then I'd like you to look at the chart on the right, because even the silent generation, even the boomers, are more likely than not to be willing to try AR in situations where really it's just adding convenience back to their lives. You could take trying on new clothes, trying on new makeup, seeing what a piece of furniture looks like. These are all things that are going to eliminate the need for you to go into a store or try something on. And so we're adding convenience back into your life, giving you time back. That's why this is so powerful. So again, not for everybody. You almost know when it's going to be for you. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to your Harmelin contacts. So why do we spend so much time talking about consumers and the movements that they're making? Well, it's because your consumers are the lifeblood of your business if you're goods or consumer services business, right? So we want to focus on being able to drive loyalty in a world where now it's fleeting. Loyalty is a luxury. So you see the stats here. Consumers in troves are moving from a trusted brand to another because of a poor experience, or maybe the price is too high and they haven't found a good enough reason to stay. That is something that you definitely want to consider. If it's not happening to you, it could be happening to your competitors, and that's a conquesting opportunity. If it is happening to you, then it's an opportunity to look inside and ask your consumers, what are you looking for? And then evaluate whether or not you're giving that to them. This is not just when it comes to creating loyalty programs. This is the user experience in total. This is understanding your consumers' wants and needs so that you can tailor messaging to them, so that you can be nimble and conquest on competitors who aren't up to snuff and steal that loyalty. right? So this is definitely something that we wanted to focus on, because loyalty in the end of the day is what's going to keep your customers coming back to you in an age where retention is not so popular. So this is absolutely something that we wanted to focus on. Overall, definitely don't go out and create 30 new retailer relationships. It's not what we're telling you to do, but consider diversifying. Continually evaluate sales channels. Is there something that's up and coming where a lot of your target consumers are interacting with that channel a lot? Is there an opportunity? Is there a new retail channel that has a new retail media platform and now it's enticing because you can promote your products? Always be asking yourself these questions. Is D2C a good fit? Definitely invest in mobile. We don't have to talk about that for ages. This is where everybody's going. The mobile experience, whether it's mobile web, mobile app. So be ready. What do you want to look like when people are looking at you or for you on a cell phone? And finally, know what your customers want. This is going to drive your ability to do everything. Personalized marketing, improving your experience, retaining customers in an age where loyalty is fleeting. You really have to know who your customers are.